بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله، وعلى آلك المظلومين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء، يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. Inshallah, we will all convey in one loud voice a salam upon Imam al-Hussein. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. I send my condolences to my brothers and sisters in Islam on the eve of Ashura. I don't have anything prepared to speak about tonight, because on a night like this, the tongue buckles, doesn't know what to say. On a night like this, my brothers and sisters, a night where the companions all come together to remind Lady Zainab that they are there to support her. The reason why I say this is Imam al-Hussein enters into the tent of Lady Zainab on a night like this. So Lady Zainab turns around and she says, "Oh, my brother Hussein, I want to ask you a question. Have you tested your companions? Have you tested those that are with you?" Imam al-Hussein turns around and says, "Oh, Lady Zainab, these are the greatest of men. These are the greatest of warriors." Who happened to be hearing this conversation outside of the tent? It was none other than Habib ibn Mudahir, the elderly man who was from the companions of the righteous. He hears Lady Zainab questioning the stance of the companions. So then Habib goes and runs to the tents of the companions of Imam al-Hussein. And he says to them, "Listen, what I just heard broke my heart. I believe that we have lacked in showing Zainab that we are there to support her brother al-Hussein. everyone, let's go to the camp. Let's go to the tent of Lady Zainab. So they all come. Habib screams out, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Imam al-Hussein exits. Oh Habib, why are you here tonight? I told you men that tonight take it a night to rest. They don't want anyone except me. Every one of you take the hand of their family members and go. Go into the desert. Leave me, don't remain with me. They only want me. So then Habib says, O Hussein, O our master, we have all come together so that Zainab can hear that we are willing to give our entire lives for her. So then Imam al-Hussein goes into the tent. He says to her, O sister Zainab, Habib has come. All the companions right now are standing outside. And they have a message for you, O Zainab. Habib conveys his regards. He conveys his salam. So then she says, O brother Hussein, convey my regards back to Habib. So Imam al-Hussein exits. He says, O Habib, my sister Zainab conveys her regards to you. Immediately he hears that, he falls to the ground, he gets the soil, he hits it on his head, he throws his turban off, and he says, who am I for Zainab, the daughter of Ali, to convey her regards to someone like me? Let me explain to you who Zainab is. One of the companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen says, everything that I'm saying right now is whatever comes to my head, I'm speaking. I haven't prepared for anything because I want to speak from my heart tonight. One of the companions says, I lived next to Amir al-Mu'mineen for many years. We were neighbors. Not once did I hear Zainab. Not once did I see Zainab. I didn't know who Zainab was. I only heard of a name that Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali has a daughter by the name of Zainab. When Imam al-Hussein was leaving Medina to head to Mecca, they say that all of the family of Imam Hussein came out. Everyone was embarking on the camel that was present. Every family, every household had a camel. The narrator says that I seen something that I had never seen in my life. Ali al-Akbar came out. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas came out. Al-Qasim, the son of Al-Hassan, came out. Abdullah, the son of Al-Hassan, came out. And they were standing in a circle. And I was surprised because this circle kept moving. I turned around to the companion and I said, who is that in the circle? They replied, that is Zainab, alayha salam. The night of Ashura, Imam al-Hussein says, listen, they only want me. They don't want you. Every one of you, go. Take their families. Just go, leave me and my family. The companions refused. In this same moment, Imam al-Hussein enters back into the tent. Zainab says, "Oh Imam Hussein, give me permission. Let me exit the tent. Let me stand in front of the companions." So they say, Imam al-Hussein's sister, "Okay Zainab, get ready." Lady Zainab got ready. She wore the hijab of her mother Fatima, the same hijab that was burnt from when they attacked the house of Fatima. Lady Zainab walks out. All the men lower their heads, so no one sees the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen. She says a line that breaks the heart. She says, "Where is Habib?" Habib says, "Me, I am Habib." She says, "عمي يا حبيب لا تقصر في نصرة هذا الغريب." Oh uncle Habib, do not lack when it comes to supporting this one who is alone, Al-Hussein. On the night of Ashura, they knew that they were alone. There are many historical events that our primary texts have included these information that many prophets walked on the land of Karbala, the land of Iraq. One day Prophet Ibrahim is walking. He falls down, he cuts his head. Immediately Ibrahim falls into the state of prostration. "Oh Allah, I seek forgiveness if I have committed a mistake." Allah says to him, "Ibrahim, you haven't committed no mistake." So Ibrahim says, "Oh Allah, why is it that I fell down and I tripped and I cut my head cut open?" He said that this land here, my prophet, the prophet of the end of time, the one that I love, will have a grandchild. And on this same place, this grandchild will be slaughtered. What about Prophet Zakaria and his son Yahya? How did they deal with him? To the extent they chopped the head of Prophet Yahya, the son of Zakaria, and they gave it as a gift to one of the people in Bani Israel. And Imam al-Hussein many times in Karbala referenced this. He says, "Oh Allah, you are the same one who will seek revenge for Yahya." Because Prophet Zakaria heard that one day the final messenger will have a grandson who will be present in the land of Iraq and will be slaughtered on this land. So then Prophet Zakaria says, "Oh Allah, I don't want this prophet's grandson to die if I can't also sacrifice something." So Allah gave Zakaria Yahya. In another narration, we have a prophet by the name of also Yahya ibn Hisqil. Al-Allama al-Majlisi mentions this narration. He says this prophet was murdered and they boiled his head. Right? This prophet was murdered and they boiled his head. Imam al-Hussein also referenced this same prophet. That, "Oh Allah, this is what happened to the ones that you love. In us, we have hope." One of the messages that Imam al-Hussein gives us on the 10th of Muharram, that no matter how much you are suffering in life, there should always be trust in Allah. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, if a flat tire on someone's car, you're late to work, and then you also have a flat tire because you were late to work. You woke up late, you're on your way, the flat tire happens. "Oh Allah, really? Do you hate me that much that I slept in on my alarm and now my tire has deflated and I'm late to work?" Immediately we question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam on the 10th of Muharram, how did he approach these situations? He says, "Oh Allah, anta thiqati, you are the one in who I have my trust in." And that's why the ulama say that if you have a need that you need to fulfill, you recite this dua of Imam al-Hussein that he recited on the 10th of Muharram, because through this dua Allah gives you your needs. One of the brothers asked me to mention re-mention this story that I mentioned on the night of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. The importance of reciting Ziyarat Ashura, my brothers and sisters. This ziyarah that we have tomorrow, at least tomorrow, from within what we can take from the narrations, it is makruh, it is disliked for one to work tomorrow. It is disliked for one to earn money tomorrow. If you can, take leave without pay on this one day. Because earning money tomorrow is from seeking the pleasures of the dunya. That's why the narration says, the Imam alayhi salam says, if you are able to not seek any pleasure of the dunya on the day that Al-Hussein was killed, then don't do that. And if you are able to not do that, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill your needs. So try not to attend work tomorrow. Try to take the day off. Because working on a day like this, like the 10th of Muharram, is highly discouraged. Back to the story of Ziyarat Ashura. One day there was a man that was buried in Yazd in Iran. And all of a sudden he appeared in the dream of his son. He says, ever since 2 days ago, the punishment in the cemetery has stopped. So the son wakes up. He says, what's this type of dream that my father said that I was being punished for a number of years, and then ever since 2 days ago, the punishment in the grave stopped. The father also told his son in the dream that a woman had been buried next to me, and ever since she was buried next to me, this is when the punishment stopped. So he says, let me go to the cemetery, let me see. Is it true that a woman was buried next to my father? He goes, he sees that yes, a woman was buried next to his father. So then the son goes to search all around Yazd to try to find who is the family of this woman. He finally finds them. He knocks on the door. I have a few questions. Who are you? Oh, I've just come to ask you a question. What do you want to ask? Can you please tell me, who was your mother? What significance did she have? They were surprised. What do you mean you're asking about our mother? Our mother was an ordinary old woman. No, there is something more about your mother. He was looking at him like, what are you on about? I know my mom. So the guy says, can you tell me, did your mom ever perform acts of goodness? She says, no, she used to do the normal, pray her obligatory prayers. Sometimes she would wake up in the night to pray throughout the night. Nothing ordinary. Nothing out of the ordinary. He says, no, there is something. There has to be something else. Try to rinse your brain out. Is there something that you've seen her do that always stood out to you? One of the younger children says, yes, I used to see my mother every day read Ziyarat Ashura. He remembered immediately. This has to be the reason why. And if you go to Yazd now in a certain cemetery, the grave of this woman is there. It's known, it's famous. That through the blessings of you reciting Ziyarat Ashura, even those that are dead benefited in the cemetery. Imam al-Rada alayhi salam, he has a very beautiful narration. He says, "Man zarani zurtuhu fi thalatha." Whoever visits me, I will visit him in 3 situations. The first one is in the grave. The second one is when Allah distributes the books to everyone. And the third one is on the scales. When Allah scales everyone's actions, in these 3 places, you will see Imam al-Rada come to your safety, come to save you if you visited him. On a night like this, my brothers and sisters, hold on to Al-Hussein. Hold on to this master. For those of you that have children, I believe that the last thing that you want is for harm to come anywhere near your children. We described yesterday that Al-Hussein, the first person that he sacrificed was his child, Ali al-Akbar. Today, the 10th, the night of the 10th, do you know who we commemorate? Ali al-Asghar, or Abdullah al-Radih, the infant of Al-Hussein. Do you know the story of the infant of Imam al-Hussein? Lady Zainab alayhi salam is given this young child. No, let that child cry, let him cry. It's fine. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was approached by Lady Zainab. O Hussein, the mother of the child has given me the child and said, let the child die in your hands, because there is no more milk in my body. I can't give the child anything else, and my heart has broken. So Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says to Lady Zainab, the only option we have is to ask them to give him water. So Imam al-Hussein says, okay, I will take the child. Get me a white cloth. Let me wrap him in white. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam goes out. He holds the child in his hand. And he says that if there was a sin upon those who are old, if you have an issue with us, come and take it from us. But what is the sin of this child, 6 months old, my brothers and sisters? What is the sin of this child? The army of Umar ibn Sa'ad split into two parts. One part said, feed the child, give him water and return him. The other part said, no, kill the old and the young. A bit of chaos began to happen in the army of Umar ibn Sa'ad. You know who Umar ibn Sa'ad turns around to? Harmala. He says, oh Harmala, cut the havoc that is taking place in the army of ours. He says, what do you mean? He says, oh Harmala, shoot an arrow. To who? Who do I shoot the arrow at? The father or the child? He says, no. Let the father live. Let him die from pain. Shoot the child. Harmala says, I got the bow and the arrow and I held back. All of a sudden, the child was wrapped in a white cloth. All of a sudden, the cloth opens up and I see a bit of light come from his neck. So he says, I pulled the string and I shot it into the neck of the 6-month child. I see Al-Hussein hold the head of the child so it doesn't fall. And then blood began to fall out. Al-Hussein holds it in his hand. He throws it up into the sky and he says, oh Allah, do not let this blood go. And then immediately Al-Hussein, oh Hussein, let him go. Let the child, bury him. For we have someone to feed him in paradise. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam brings the dead child back. He brings him back to the tent. But how do you take a dead child back to its mother? You know, one of the people said that one day I entered into the hospital. I seen a father enter into the emergency room holding his child. After an hour, I seen the father come back with the child in his hand and he's walking up and down the corridor in a state that I've never seen someone in. So I went to the father. I said to him, do you need any help? Can I help you? He says, no, my son has died and his mother is in the car. How do I go and tell the mother that your son has died? Imam al-Hussein is walking up and down around the tent. How do I go and tell them that your young brother has died? You know who they send? They send the daughter of Imam al-Hussein by the name of Sakina Her name was Fatima. But whenever Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam would see her, his heart would relax. She says, oh father, oh Hussein, did you go to feed my younger brother Abdullah and you have brought the rest of the water to me? He says to her, no, oh daughter. Look what they've done. Look at the neck of your brother. Look at the arrow in the neck of your brother. My brothers and sisters, these were vicious men. These were vicious people. They say that then Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam grabbed his sword and he dug a hole in the ground to try to bury the child. All of a sudden, he hears the mother of the child run out. Oh Hussein, wait, let me just smell my child before you bury him. Let me smell this child before you bury him. You know, after they killed Imam al-Hussein, one of the enemies said that, listen, we have a spare stick with an arrow on top. Let's go and find someone's head that we haven't chopped off and put it on this last remaining spear. One of them says, I remember when Harmala shot the arrow into Al-Hussein. Al-Hussein went next to his tent and we were observing him. He digs a hole, he places his son is still in the ground. They go, they undig him. My brothers, do you know how small a 6-month-old child is? They go, they get the sword and they do what they do and they place this small head on the arrow. Inshallah, tomorrow I will read the maqtal of the events that took place that led to Imam al-Hussein's killing. But let me mention to you one thing. When Imam al-Hussein went out, Al-Abbas was no longer there. He had no one there. You know when a warrior goes out, when he walks into the battlefield, he looks to the left and to the right, so that people can bring for him his horse, so that people can bring for him something to aid him, his sword, everything. It's one of the things that are known to do with warriors. Lady Zainab says, how hard and how harsh is my heart that I have to give the horse to my brother to go and fight. What type of sister am I that I have to give my brother the horse to go out and fight? Imam al-Hussein goes. While he is about to take more than a few steps, all of the daughters ran out. Oh Father Hussein, oh Uncle Hussein, where are you going? He says, I'm going somewhere. I will be back inshallah. But he says, Zainab, there is one daughter that hasn't come out. Where is Sakina? Why didn't she come out? Zainab says that she's in the tent. Imam al-Hussein gets off the horse and goes to the tent. He says to her, oh my daughter, why didn't you come out? She says, oh father, I know where you are going. And who is going to wipe on my head the same way that you wiped over the head of Muslim ibn Aqil's daughters when you found out that he died? Who is going to wipe over our head? Imam al-Hussein tells her, remain patient, my daughter, remain patient. He goes out. Imam al-Hussein takes a few meters. He starts riding the horse for a few meters. He automatically hears a scream, Mahlan, Mahla, Yabna al-Zahra. That, oh son of Fatima, wait, where are you going? He turns around, it's Zainab. He says, Zainab, I said bye to you. She says, yes, but I remembered before my mother Fatima died, she said to me, oh Zainab, that on the day of Ashura, if you see your brother Al-Hussein going by himself, stop him. So I stopped you. Oh Hussein, get off your horse. Remove the bit of clothing that you are wearing. Let me smell you. Let me give you a kiss. He says to her, why are you smelling my neck? Why are you kissing my chest? She says, because Mother Fatima said that if you see Al-Hussein, smell him in his neck and kiss him on his chest. You know, the clothes that Imam Al-Hussein was wearing on this day were the most ugliest of clothing. Because he asked, he said, Zainab, listen, the people that have come to kill us, they're after money. They're here for the joy. They're here to win something. Give me one of the most ugliest of clothings that we have. She brought him a thobe. He started to cut it up. You know, even that, on the day of Ashura, they didn't leave it on Al-Hussein. They even took that. You know, one of the hardest things when you think about Karbala, one of the enemies said that Al-Hussein was on the floor for a couple of hours, for about an hour. We didn't know, was he alive, was he not alive? Was he alive, was he not alive? You know, Imam al-Sadiq says that one group would throw arrows, one group would throw rocks, one group would throw knives. We didn't know, was Al-Hussein dead or not? One of the men says, do you want to know that Al-Hussein is alive? Go, run to the tents where his sister Zainab and his daughters are. All of a sudden, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam stands up and then he falls back onto the ground. He stands up and then he falls back onto the ground. He stands up and then he falls back onto the ground. Zainab runs out. He says, Zainab, go back. Don't break my heart. Go back to the tent. One of the harshest things. Have you ever been in a state where you're so helpless? You've had a child, a sibling, a parent that, or someone that is so sick that you want to help them, but you are so helpless. You can't do anything. You can't help them. Zainab goes up to what they call a Tallu Zainabi. She goes, she sees that men are starting to embark on horses. Men are embarking on horses. So the moment these horses started to ride, she knew what was going to happen. She knew whose chest was going to be trembled. She goes out, she places her hands on her head like this, and she says, وَيْحَكُمْ أَمَا فِيكُمْ Muslim. That, O people, is there no Muslim person to help this man? Umar ibn Sa'ad says, ignore her. Go, ride the horses and tremble the chest of Al-Hussein. Yes, inshallah, tomorrow I will go into depth in the maqtal, but one of the hardest things, Imam al-Sajjad in the courts of Yazid, he says, I am the son of the one that was killed min al-qafa. I am the son of the one who the knife went through the neck of the father, of his father. So then, I ask you the question, if you want to slaughter an animal, you slaughter it from the front, not from the back. Why is it that Al-Hussein was slaughtered from the back? Was because when Shimr came to sit on the chest of Al-Hussein, Imam Al-Hussein says to him, O Shimr, let me see, O person, let me see your face. So this man, as Shimr, removes the mask of his face. Imam Al-Hussein says, Subhanallah, my grandfather Rasulullah said to me that the man that will kill you has a nose like the nose of a pig. He says, your grandfather said that? He began to kick Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in such a way that he flipped Imam al-Hussein from being on his back to on his chest. If you have someone that has passed away, you treat them in a way of respect. However, with the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, no. That's why Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, he says, يَبْنَ شَبِيبٍ إِن كُنْتَ بَاكِيًا لِشَيْءٍ فَابْكِ الْحُسَيْنِ. O son of Shabib, If you were to cry over anyone, then cry over Al-Husayn. يا ابن شبيب إن كنت باكيا لشيء فابكي الحسين فإنه ذبح كما يذبح الكبش. O son of Shabib, if you are to cry over anyone, then cry over Al-Husayn, for they killed him, they slaughtered him the same way that they would slaughter an animal. O son of Shabib, one day Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, they bring him water, he started to cry. They said to him, O Zaynul Abidin, why are you crying? He turns around, Abu Hamza al-Thumali asked him, he said to him, Ya Aba Hamza, O Abu Hamza, I understand why you are asking this question. I understand that you are asking, why is it that you keep crying, O Zaynul Abidin? He says, Ya Aba Hamza, O Abu Hamza, have you ever heard that the daughter of Rasulullah in any time, any daughter of any prophet, his family went as captives? Have you ever heard that a woman of the prophets went as captives? Ya Aba Hamza, subiyat ammati Zainab. Oh Abu Hamza, my auntie Zainab went as a captive. You know what is one of the hardest things? One of the daughters of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam on the 10th of Ashura, she says that I was running and the tents were filled with fire. Everything we would step on, either we would get burnt, either our clothes were filled with fire. All of a sudden I looked behind me, there was a very large man that was chasing me. He was trying to grab me. All of a sudden his power overpowered me. He grabbed me. He looked at me. He grabbed his hand and he slapped me on the face. My brothers and sisters, he slapped her on the face. So then she says, he tried to pull my hijab off. I fell unconscious. The reason why I fell unconscious was because he ripped the earring from my ear and I lost a lot of blood. I woke up, my auntie Zainab was next to me. I said to her, oh auntie Zainab, why is it that you are crying? She said, because they slapped me as well, O daughter. When you hear the Ahlul Bayt say that the 10th of Ashura is one of the worst days, look into history, look into what took place, my brothers and sisters. Look at how they were treated. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. Allahumma ajjal li waliyika al-faraj. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج وامن علينا برضاه وهب لنا رأفته ورحمته ودعاءه يا حميد بحق محمد يا عالي بحق علي يا فاطر بحق فاطمة يا محسن بحق الحسن ويا قديم الإحسان بحق الحسين وبحق التسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج وصلى الله على محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.